Another day, another Dodge Demon teaser with a Leprechaun. This time with a very cryptic message straight from the Dodge Demon days. But what if I told you this calculation support what I said in my last video about the 1FAST29 license plate? That Dodge has made a car capable of going down a drag strip in 9 seconds. So let's break down the numbers and see what they all mean. So this next teaser from Dodge is quick and straight to the point. We have a big Leprechaun with golden eyes blowing on an anemometer, and we get this cryptic calculation at 105 and then in parentheses we get 302 times 298 equals 1582. Once I seen this equation, I immediately thought of the Dodge Demon and all its cryptic license plate. And every license plate, the numbers all related to one another. So when one thing happened, all the rest of the numbers in the equation happened at that particular moment. Such as transferring 2,576 pounds to the Demon's rear wheels carried the front wheels for 35 inches, 3.9 psi for the torque reserve in this one, or 8.3 psi when you use a torque reserve and a trans brake in this one right here. I was originally thinking that the 7.1 pounds from the second teaser had something to do with a torque reserve from the Demon, but I wouldn't think that a two-wheel drive car would be able to launch with that much extra boost. We haven't seen any teasers to point to all-wheel drive, so I think the 7.1 pounds related to the boost pressure because Dodge did tease the 24 pounds of boost in the stage controller, and they always leave hidden messages and numbers. Just like with the 1121 when the Demon set his Guinness Book of Records run, or the 707 in the Uconnect clock for the Hellcats. But that's a long way of saying that all these numbers will relate to one another and not skip around, especially when you look at this Demon that I immediately thought of when I seen his latest teaser. We now know that this teaser meant that half a second into launch, that you're hitting 1.785 Gs at 13.5 miles an hour. This equation got me thinking about this new one that we just seen. Now the 105, I believe that is an octane rating for E85. The next numbers, if we just simply multiply them together into parentheses, we get 8.996. And I believe this number it will be the quarter mile time. I said in my last video that a Dodge employee said they were working on an 8-second car a few years ago.
The Pro Stock NHRA cars, back when I was drag racing, ran in the high 8s.
Right.
Okay. Now today they, run 640s or whatever. Right. But high 8, that's what the car we're trying to get out there testing today is going to try to run.
Then you had the 1FAST29 license plate, which I believe means 1 fast to 9 seconds. And based on the 8.9996, is only 0.0004 off of a 9-second ET time in the quarter mile. So far in the equation, I think if you use 105 octane of E85, you'll get an 8.9996 ET, which it probably did in a Guinness Book of Records run, and probably where we see this 8.9996 instead of a 9 seconds flat. The 1582, I have a couple guesses of what that could be. One would be that this is a CFM of the intake, and that's how much his air is sucking in when you cross the finish line. The Demon's air grabber hood and hollowed out headlight sucks in 1,150 CFM. Now remember B. Woody was one of the first people to make a new intake for the Ram TRX, and then it got me thinking that Dodge may have designed a new bolt-on intake system. Then I got on B. Woody's website, and I see their new TRX intake can flow in 1,558 CFM of air. And then I went and looked at the Demon's intake that they have. It can flow in almost 2,000 CFM of air. The Demon hood isn't responsible for the Demon making more power than the Red Eye or the Superstock. That's mainly the programming that restricted horsepower, and Dodge confirmed that fact when it showed that these cars are going to get 885 horsepower in level 2 stage kits from Direct Connection. All the Demon's teasers with equations were not easily solved. So if this 1582 is simply CFM over the Demon, I'd actually be disappointed. I did try to think outside of the box, and I thought to myself that 9 seconds into a run, your car would not suck in 1,582 CFM. CFM is cubic feet per minute, not per second. So I started thinking, what if 1582 is feet? The quarter mile is 1320, so if I took the 8.9996 and divided by 1582, which would give me the feet per second that this car will move. So if I were to multiply that number by 1320, which is the feet in a quarter mile, that would give me a quarter mile time of 7.5 seconds, which oddly enough is the Challenger Drag Pak's quarter mile time. Now I'm not saying Dodge will give us a street legal Drag Pak, that will honestly be the craziest production car ever, but it does show you can manipulate this equation and get plenty of different theories until Dodge reveals the meaning next week. But my best guess is that Dodge took a Demon as a base car to work with, added the Hellephant, which according to Dodge now, can include a 6.2 engine with some updated internals, a bigger 3.0 liter blower, and E85 tune depending on which Hellephant version they put in the car. Throw in 105 octane E85 fuel, and you should get an 8.9996 ET, which you probably got that official time from Guinness Book of World Records at a track day somewhere. And the 1582, I would guess that's more related to exhaust CFM or rather feet rather than intake CFM. And the 7th edition, according to the title of the video, should hit a top speed of 215 miles per hour. There was a Demon in this article that can do a 211 mile per hour top speed. The article claims the Demon could have gone higher, but it ran out of runway. Weight and aerodynamics isn't in the Demon's favor, and it could take a lot more horsepower to overcome that. So with the C170 engine, the 7th edition should do at least 1000 horsepower on E85 and somewhere in the 900 horsepower range for premium fuel. And maybe Dodge got 215 miles per hour on the runway and gained that additional 4 miles per hour with a couple hundred extra horsepower. But this teaser video supports what I talked about in my last few videos about the 7th edition. Dodge said they were working on a high 8-second car.
But high 8, that's what the car we're trying to get out there testing today is going to try to run.
They put the one fat 29 license plate on the 7th edition at Speed Week.
That 7th car, right there under the wraps, that car is destined for SEMA this year, and it is destined for the history books. If you doubt me, check the license plate because I can guarantee you that's the clue.
And now we have this 8.9996 ET time. The equation is pretty straightforward, and hopefully in the next teaser, we'll get an idea of weight, which I believe this car will be fitted with speed core carbon fiber panels to shed more weight over the Demon.
If you're looking for something really exotic and really super custom, we've also licensed direct connection with speed core to create carbon fiber body parts for our current late model muscle cars. These panels are handcrafted, precise tolerances, just like the factory, built, formed, baked right here in the US. Super cool for our late model guys looking to shed a little weight and have something really custom.
How much carbon fiber would they use is the question. It's highly suspicious at this moment that Dodge has not shown a single photo of this car. When we got the Demon teasers, for example, we pretty much saw the back end and hints of other things on the body. So something has me thinking we'll see some stuff that Dodge announced for direct connection last year at Speed Week and SEMA on this car. With the rumored carbon fiber wheels, speed core carbon fiber panels, using the 4,200 pound Demon as a base, I'm thinking we can easily see a 4,000 pound Challenger or maybe even more weight off. I was playing around with this online calculator, and if I have an 8.996 ET and a 4,000 pound car, for example, then I'll need to have an engine that produces 1,084 horsepower, which coincidentally is in the horsepower range of the C170 Hellephant engine. Dodge said the 6.2 Hellephant on E85 would make 1,000 plus horsepower, and the 426 version, which I don't think is going to be in this car, would make 1,100 horsepower plus on E85. So in order to find an 8.9 ET, I played around with this calculator. So in this one, I put in a 149.5 miles per hour. Now I did this because NHRA requires a parachute if you run over 150 miles per hour on a track. And then I put 4,000 pounds again, and I got 1,030 horsepower. And again, that is within range of a C170 Hellephant. I'll use the 4,000 pounds again, and I'll round up to 1,085 horsepower from what I got earlier, and I get about a 9-second ET at 150.1 miles per hour. So you can see that if Dodge drops weight, they can't make this 8.9 ET time, and depending on how much weight they drop, 7th edition will need either more or less horsepower. If the 7th edition weighs 4,100 pounds, then Dodge will need at least 1,111 horsepower. Now that's still within range of the bigger A170 Hellephant with the 85, but like I said, I don't think that engine will be in this car. So this is why I hope the last teaser will give us an idea of weight or maybe even downforce. The only teaser about weight was in the second teaser video, and if Dodge is hinting that this car weighs 7.1 pounds heavier than the Demon, then the 7th edition would need 1,162 horsepower to do an 8.9996 ET, which is still very possible since it's still in the horsepower range for the 426 Hellephant A170 on E85. But there is something about these teaser videos and not seeing the car in any of them that has me thinking for sure that we'll see some new stuff on this particular car. But with this being the final year and all the other special editions being let down sticker pack cars, I think there'll be strictly bolt-on direct connection parts on the 7th edition. With the Demon, they only made that hood for one model year and then filtered everything else down to the other cars throughout the years. So if anything with the 7th edition, I could see Dodge making a new hood for that car, especially as it feed over 1,582 CFM to the engine. So I can understand not seeing the front of the car, but with the rear, Dodge has been thinking they have something to hide. And this is a sub 9-second car and can do 150 miles per hour in a quarter mile. Maybe in a new Demon crate, they will offer a parachute kit from the Drag Pak, and that could be why I'm thinking this particular equation could be hinting at a Drag Pak. And as I said earlier, if a car runs over 150 miles per hour, it needs a parachute. It actually needs 2 parachutes if it can run over 200 miles per hour per NHRA rules. There is no way the 7th edition won't have some kind of crate to go along with it. If the limited to 3,300 examples of the legendary 2018 Demon has a crate, no way the last of this era of cars, destined for the history books, won't go out with a bang and have a few new goodies in its own version of the Demon crate. But that's it for this video. Let me know what you guys think about the equation Dodge has provided in this video. If you found this video helpful, make sure you leave it a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Pick up some last call merch on your way out. And until the next time, I'm out.